what do you think of Kane's actions here? And is there now anything stopping him going directly for Tariq now?
Well, I think that this is going to have grave consequences for the entire family. We know Ramirez is the one that was helping to protect the family. Um, and that's what this is about. By him taking away him, yeah, you stop your mom from being able to rely on him and spend time with him, but you also hurt the family and you now leave them exposed to whatever is going to happen with them. One thing that I did want to make mention of with Kane in this episode, that he is thirsty for power, and the fact that he recruited the GTG leader to his side. But the thing is that I find it interesting how he would not question whether or not this guy can turn on him, because earlier in this episode he had a conversation with Drew and he told him, yes, he's loyal, and I got him working for me now. Yes, because he is loyal. But yet when he is the one that shows up to make sure that his family is taken care of, it's only him. It's not the GTG guy. So what's to say that this GTG leader didn't negotiate this thing with Rico the way it was, and said for them to take out the Tejadas as a result? That's the thing, that the character is so thirsty for power and control that he's going to make some mistakes. And I think his mistake was obviously keeping this guy on and still working with him, because if you can't trust him, there's no way that guy doesn't have some type of grudge with Kane for the fact that he killed his boys. So I kind of find it ridiculous that Kane does not. Obviously, Kane thinks he can handle him, he can control him, whatever, manipulate him. But that guy can just as easily, as you saw with this whole shipment thing, flip things on him. So hopefully this is a situation where the next episode, if we do find out that the GTG guy was working with Rico to try and set them up, I hope that Kane takes him out immediately. But yeah, the decision to kill Ramirez was a bad decision, and it's going to have bad consequences on the entire family. It's not really just Monet, it's everybody. Everybody is a target now. And meanwhile, obviously Kane did it because he's now cut off from the family. So to go back to the comment I made earlier about, Kane was already a bad kid, and now he's even more reckless because he feels as though his mom is not a part of his life. So to go back to what I said previously, if Tasha is killed, Tariq absolutely 100% can become the monster that he has been, that Effie calls him, because then he will just want to go down a different path completely, and it's about getting revenge. And I do think that Kane plays a role in where eventually Tariq goes as a character, because no matter what he does, this is somebody he's going to have to deal with, because this is the guy that knocked him out of his own family. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that dynamic. Obviously, I don't want to see that confrontation yet. They need to save that for next season or whenever. They need to build it up over time. But it's definitely going to happen now, because they've set them on opposite paths against each other, and it's not going to end well, and there's going to be some casualties along the way. But it's definitely going to happen. Only a matter of time.
I think this is exciting, and from a viewer and a writer standpoint, because this allows us to introduce us into more people in the story. We don't know how many people Monique's people crossed and how many people want revenge. I mean, we just focused on the GTG, but there's a lot of other people that you have to cross in order to get to where you're at now. And I feel that Monique's character is someone who could easily cross people. So now that Rico is dead, it opens them up to a lot of problems. I do feel that Tariq. Here's the weird thing. Remember when Kane was like, "Oh, you made me this way, Ma."
Yeah.
When she was like, "I don't want to see you anymore." I do feel that this kind of means that all bets are off, and that he may not care about Tariq anymore, because he'll feel that that's her problem, that's Monique's problem now, and it's not going to be on the forefront of his mind to go and kill Tariq. I do feel that there's going to be other people now that's going to come for them, and also it may be Kane as well. He knows everything that she knows. She taught him. And she said, "You made me this way." So I see him forging his own path. And in order to do that, he may end up crossing her. So this could be very exciting from a viewer and writer standpoint.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if they do what Rich said and build this up like over the course of like the next season or so. Like if they do it as like a long term storyline, this could get really good. So let's hope they kind of take that path, because there's a lot of other things they can wrap up in the next episode without having to fully close this storyline. So hopefully they take that path. But I wanted to also ask you guys, what do you think about Drew getting shot, and how will Drew act whenever he wakes up? We don't know how long he's going to be out for, but what do you think his mindset will be when he does wake up? So go ahead, Rich.
Well, we know that Drew, and he may mention in this episode again, that he never really wanted to have control. He never really wanted it to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that Monet is really pushing for him to do that, especially now that Kane is out of the picture. I feel like, after what happened where he got shot, that is something where it can go in either one of two directions. Either he can decide to still be the same character that does not want to get involved, but he really wants to distance himself from all this stuff, or he can be the one to now he going to really, step up into that role and become a different person entirely, where he's a lot more ruthless and he will do whatever he needs to do to protect himself and his family. So they can really take that in any direction. I personally think that after what happened, though, no way the character comes back the exact same way, because he almost get killed. And I thought he was going to be dead after I saw him get shot up. Now, one point I will mention, and this is, I don't really think this is a nitpick, so to speak. We've seen multiple times in movies that there's a drive-by. That's fine, whatever. I'm a little surprised that they would think that there would be no retaliation, because if you know that you're going to kill someone, and if they knew that Kane was there, for example, do you think they still would have did a drive-by, or would they have did a drive-by and then they want to go inside, make sure everybody is killed, and shoot everybody? That's the question that I asked, because Kane is a loose cannon. And to think that there's going to be no retaliation whatsoever, that goes to show you how ballsy a lot of these people are. The same way that Kane is ballsy to think that he can trust this GTG guy after killing his people. So that right there, obviously the next episode, my assumption is that Monet is going to get some payback on them for this. And obviously she's going to confront Lorenzo. By the way, I will also add that I find it to be ridiculous that Lorenzo doesn't have any other muscle that can help to, whenever things get real bad. Obviously, Ramirez was the officer to help on the police force, but I'm surprised he doesn't have additional gang members or whatever that could help them if the family is in need. It feels like they're on their own. So that is something that obviously we'll find out how deep their rivalries go, like Dana alluded to, after what happened in this episode. But I feel like right now, the Drew character, I'm not expecting the character to come back exactly the same way. Either the character's going to come back and just be a ruthless individual, or he's going to come back with some type of, where maybe he has some type of issue where he needs surgery and it's a lot more serious and it leads to a health issue. I don't know. But the character is not going to come back. I'm not expecting the character to come back exactly the same way he was before, since he did get shot. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I kind of think like this might be the thing that makes him finally say, I'm done with this life. I don't want nothing else to do with this anymore. And,
yeah.
I'm gonna go find Everett, so that's probably going to be his mindset, but what do you think, Dana? What do you think's next for Drew whenever he wakes up?
Drew, he was the one who was gay, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I do feel that this is going to be like, look, I already died. Let me live my true self. And whatever consequences may be that may happen, it's okay. So I feel that. Also, I don't know if he'll want to keep being a part of that gang situation, with the drugs and the dealing. Because it could, it could go that way, where he's like, I'm done with all this. I already risked my life. I'm tired. It's not worth it. And he's really young.
Mhm.
Or it could be one of those situations where he tries to retaliate. But right now, I just kind of feel that he's not the person who wants to go and he's not Kane. So I do feel that he is going to try to just live his life how he wants to and go back with his boyfriend. He's going to meet a lot of anger from his mom, but that's just may end up what happens, I feel. And also another thing, what I don't like is when they do drive-bys, don't just hit the windows. You gotta hit, if the person falls down onto the ground, you gotta aim low too. Well,
Yeah.
that would have been nice as well. Aim low.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know Dana was an expert in shooting and
I'm not.
drive-by.
Look at how it's shot. I mean, they shot one person. That's great. But if you want to get everyone, people automatically drop. So you gotta aim low as well. Don't just aim for the windows.
So
Yeah.
it sounds to me like these goaters, these shooters, they are the same type of shooter that Ghost is when he shot up Tommy's car last season, and just somebody, I see someone in the car, I'm just shooting, but at least he just shot everything, to make sure the person is dead. So, but this is a different situation, obviously. But yeah, it's yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think it's a little ridiculous for them to think that there won't be some retaliation now, and to not even check to make sure that they're actually dead. Come on, bro. We know there's going to be retaliation. It's pretty obvious, but it's a question of how it's going to be retaliation.
Yeah.
And
Oh, good.
oh no, and obviously, I would imagine that we'll see if Kane decides to go after him, or if he just decides, well, I'm just going to mind my own business and let whatever happened to them happen. I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's going to be some retaliation. Everybody knows this. It's just a matter of how it's going to go down and how they're going to plan this.